Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you more for actually joining a session on a festive holiday. Deepavali is the time when people stop for everything else. And I'm actually delighted to see such a huge turnout that there are so many people who want to actually listen. And in addition, there is a person that I just got a connection from yesterday on LinkedIn, Rishita Maru. I hope it is the same person that we have
Yes.
in the session. Yeah, okay. So we'll be speaking about generative AI in general, and then we'll look into some examples of how to use it in your projects that you have been doing with every. I hope my screen is now visible to everyone. Yes, okay. So we'll start. We'll start with you have all heard about artificial intelligence in news. You have used it yourself. How many in the group here use chat GPT already? Just put in simple text on the chat box, and I'll be able to read you out. All those who use chat GPT. Okay, I see a lot of people using chat GPT. Everyone for that matter, and that's so nice. So, chat GPT is one aspect of generative AI that we are going to discuss today, but there are a lot of others. I happen to be teaching computer science in the last 21 years, but I'm yet to give up. That means we belong to an era where COBOL, BASIC, Pascal, Fortran were the languages that we were discussing. So we've come a very long way to artificial intelligence. I currently teach as a Dean of Research and Innovation and a Professor CSE at Maharaja Institute of Technology, Delhi. We are running some 11 engineering branches and have a huge intake of almost close to 1,500 students per year. I have recently authored books on data science and artificial intelligence. The AI book will be in the market by end of this month, I am very sure. That was about me. I am also working as a product consultant on artificial intelligence for MethdAI. So the workshop is about AI. Then we talk about some bit about a very little introduction to what AI, in a broad term, we used to describe all sorts of advanced computer systems which are actually displaying intelligence which is close to human intelligence. But we'll speak more specifically about machine learning these days because most of what we see in AI today is really machine learning, where computers are starting to learn from examples. All right. So we call the machines which are learning from examples as primarily they are neural network if they are working with image or audio or video, or sometimes we call them data science systems if they are learning from tabular data. So, how AI systems, in a very broad sense, work is they learn by being given a lot of examples to learn from, like being told what to see in an image. Uh, we keep giving it examples of, let us say, if I want to train a machine how to recognize an elephant, I'm going to show it a lot of images of elephants, not only the front image, but sideways, from the back, in the environment, in the jungle, in a cage, so that it would be able to identify that this is how an elephant looks like. Maybe even if it is in a surrounding which is a landscape like jungle or any place else. But the more data we keep on giving it, the more it would be able to easily identify that this is what an elephant looks like. So the kind of machine that we speak about is they are called neural network. And ChatGPT, which all of you say that we have used, they are examples of neural networks. So what do they work on? Is large language models or ChatGPT, which is an example of a large language model, they basically predict what word comes next in a sequence of words. That means, again, when we train this, the training goes like that. We give it a lot of examples on what text looks like. Now, let me tell you, this task is not easy because we are not talking about one language. Say your chat GPT works across English, perfectly fine. But it does work across Hindi, Spanish, Chinese, Korean. There are a lot of languages for which it has been trained on, for which we have shown it a lot of data across a lot of different languages which it learns from. So giving some machine so much data to learn from, that actually creates humongous systems like what we see in our chat GPT models. So how it works, if you start type the phrase like Hiral kicked a dot dot dot, it can predict, it can actually, if there is enough data training on the model, it would be more like that. It could predict Hiral kicked a ball, or Hiral kicked a dog, or Hiral kicked a, that whatever phrases are usually associated with somebody kicked something, it would be able to actually see that this is going towards that direction, and next in the sequence of words would be coming in either a ball or a dog, or not a dog. Why not a dog? Why would it predict that he will kick the ball? Can somebody just open their mic and simply guess that why should it be Hiral kick the ball? Why should it not be Hiral kick the dog? Anyone? Any wild guess that why could it be not? It could have been that also. Would someone like to take a guess? No. Okay.
So
I'll
may
be
I?
yes, please.
Sir, because kicking a ball is a sport, so the AI will think that we are talking about a sport. So that's why it will read kick the ball, not kick the dog.
Okay. It is, and thanks for trying. Your answer
Welcome,
would
sir.
be very close to what we have. But over the last couple of months, not years, because large language models came out very recently. And over the last couple of months, I'll say a time frame of 8 months, 10 months, 12, maybe it can go to 24 months,
Yes, sir.
that we have realized that we are looking at something which is capable of generating things which it has not even seen. We are looking at something which we want to be as humane as possible. We are looking at something which is supposed to be as ethical as possible. So we are trying to give a human touch to whatever artificial intelligence is also doing, because only the human intelligence is not enough. We want to give it some way of understanding the human emotions, or the way the humans are supposed to be. So this is a part of a project where ethics in AI would not allow it to say something which is harmful or abusive. So Hiral kick the dog would have been harmful to a animal. So that was the one thought that would actually stop the large language model from saying something hurtful towards anyone. That is the basic idea behind it. Anyhow, moving on, we understand what AI and ML is. Artificial intelligence is where we are trying to impart intelligence to the computers on the same lines as the humans have. Machine learning is where the machines are learning from a lot of data. Large language models basically deal with a lot of data in the text domain. That means the languages we speak, the way we communicate to each other, maybe through the books, maybe through the blogs, maybe anything which contains text. That actually is an example of a large language model training domain. But combine all of these together, when we speak about generative AI, a generative model take what it has learned from the example. Now, we are not speaking about text only. We are saying a generative model can take whatever it has learned from the examples it has been shown and create something entirely new based on that information. We'll have to understand it from the perspective of a search engine. So, let us say if I search on a search engine, say for Google, and an elephant, and I search for images, this is going to be something which this system has stored. This is not generative. This is something which the system has stored, which humans have actually labeled that this is an elephant. And people would be able to identify, because our intelligence would be allowing us to even look at this image and say this is an elephant. Yes, we have seen a lot of examples and we are basically intelligent creatures. But what if we could create something which was a cross between an elephant and a duck? That is actually not available anywhere, but that is the power of a generative AI, because it has seen ducks, it has seen elephants, it can actually think about a creature which is having the features of both elephant, like a tusk and a tail, and the features of duck, like feathers or a beak. So that is the kind of thing that we talk about when we talk about generative AI. So when something is created which is entirely new based on the information that we give to the system, that actually speaks about the word generative. So language models that we have just discussed, large language models, they can be used to generate a lot of other types of outputs, including text. Means you can say to tell to chat GPT, write me an essay. Let us try to use it. Let me see if I have an access available. Okay. So I'll tell it to, I believe this is coming in the way. Okay. We'll keep it here. Write an essay on, so far so good. We are going to simply tell it to write an essay on an elephant. Okay. Now this goes into a very vague direction. That means we gave it a prompt. It is writing an elephant, essay on an elephant, a very big. Okay. Now, what is the class that you people belong to? Most of the students, class 10th, 11th. How many are class 11 or 10th or above? Anyone lesser than that? What I basically wanted to tell it here was that we can actually engineer this prompt. So our prompt was write an essay on an elephant. It gave us a very beautiful essay, but we wanted the essay to be something which it had not seen. I'll say write a short story of an elephant who wanted to be a pilot. Now, this is something fictional. This is something that I'm actually thinking about from my mind. Right? On the first I changed the prompt. I am asking it to generate something which we have never seen before, which is not even feasible in the real world, but it's a short story. I also want to say make it suitable for 15-year-old. Okay. Then total word length should not exceed 500 words. This is how the way I am engineering a prompt. I am adding more detail. I may want to even more detail. Keep the tone story motivational. I can say professional. I can say tone of the story may be angry. I can say tone of the story may be futuristic. So when I save and submit, now this is going to generate. So look at the story itself. There lived a young elephant named Ellie. She had a dream. She wanted to be a pilot. She gave up the birds gracefully. So this is the power of generative AI, that it is not actually stopping your imagination. It has not seen any story so far which would be talking about an elephant as a pilot, but it is still able to create, right? So if there is anything that you want to ask about generative AI so far, please feel free to ask. I'll keep the chat window open. Or you can open your mic and even. Okay, there are students from class 8 to second year also. Absolutely great. Right. This was the part that we have so far, that we are able to see that generative AI is. Now, what if we could use generative AI like text to generate images, or to generate audio, or to generate videos for that matter? That is the real part. So text to text was a single mode. That means I could take text. My input here was I took some text. My output here was it generated some text again. Right. What if we could generate some image from the text? So that is the second part, that we have generative AI which is capable of now generating images as you perceive them to be. This is basically what you are joining the workshop also for. I am assuming that how do we generate image which are close to our imagination, which would help us create a storyline, which would help us create some graphic novel, which we would be able to place some text on. So let us try to create something. The tools which we are going to possibly use is there is a bing.com/create. I'll post the links in. You can simply say bing.com/create, and this would be able to work. Fine. Now I'm going to show you how to work it. I am not giving it any prompt. I'm just simply saying surprise me. Right. This would give you an example of how this uh, system works. So it has taken a prompt as a pixel art of a Jack Russell Terrier floating in the space with moon and stars. Right. Instead of Jack Russell Terrier, we may say Ellie the elephant floating in the space with moon and stars, and dressed as a pilot. And let us try to create. In the background, this is working something. In the background, it is also saying your image is being created by the AI. This is a pixel art, right? See how close it is, something to what you might be looking forward for the story that we just created on ChatGPT. This was about the Ellie who wanted to be a pilot, and the image which actually generated by the scheme here is so close to what we wanted it to be, right? So let us say we do not want a pixel art, we want something else. We say photorealistic, and we try creating again. So describe an image that doesn't exist. It's like a crocodile in a leather jacket riding a bike, an alligator wearing a leather jacket riding a motorcycle on a dirt road. Digital art, kind of. So see, just by changing the prompt or engineering the prompt a little, we have now created something which would be more close to the story that we are looking forward to creating. Surprising? Now, this is not the only thing that we'll be able to do. Look into Leonardo.ai, another tool which you will be able to use free of cost, and look into the kind of images which have been generated, each one of them with the prompt that it has been created with. So if I wanted to create a owl between leaves and a compass, or a mysterious tarot lady gazes into her crystal, predicting the future with a flick of her wrist, test, highly realistic, ruddy skin, beautiful. There is a lot that goes into creating an image, but there is a lot of image on the prompt also, right? So we have to actually think about what are we going to create. We have to give words to our thoughts. We want to be as descriptive as possible, and we want to create something up. There would be one problem, although, that we discussed yesterday when I was actually preparing for this workshop, that at times what you are looking forward to creating may not be sequential. Like the first image that you created might not relate to the second. You might not have the same image being generated for, like you wanted Ellie the elephant to talk to somebody like a wise owl, but the wise owl and Ellie the elephant may keep on changing because this is generative. This is going to create something new every time that you are going to work with. So instead of using a text prompt only, this allows you to actually add in all images as well. That means the AI image generation can actually take in input of another image as a prompt. Yes, yes, please. Okay. So this was something that I would create with artificial intelligence. So look at the prompts: high quality masterpiece, watercolor, wash technique, colorful painting like Agnes Sessile, blurry, pale touch, smudged outline. A school student receiving a trophy from a lady wearing a sari during the function for a performance in the auditorium. This is something that I wanted to create for my book. So see the kind of images that you want to, but there is a problem. It does not draw the hands very well. Sometimes the faces are distorted. So that is an issue with artificial intelligence system. You will see that because uh, can somebody say why are hands not very easy to generate for artificial intelligence? Take a wild guess again. It it actually creates a very easy access to faces and all features, animals, everything create. But hands, it has a very difficult time creating. Sometimes it would create a very thin hand or very thin fingers, like shown on the screen. Sometimes it would create more number of uh, fingers than required. Everything else is in proportion, but the hands are the only thing which it struggles with.
Sir, may I try again?
Yes, please.
Sir, because in creating hands there we have to put a more of detail. That's why the AI struggles in creating
There is
the
one reason.
hands.
Yes, there is a lot of detail, but there is a lot of detail in the images which it is creating, and it can capture the details very, very, very well. You see the detailing in the images which it is creating. Can you see there is a lot of detail. So there is a small reason that I assume, I do not know this is correct or not. I work with a lot of things which are explainable, that why AI does the way it does. And the only reason which I can actually think of is that traditionally, over through the hundreds of centuries when we have been drawing, humans have typically struggled with drawing hand because most of the time they focused on the portraits, the face, the images above the bust. So, because traditionally we have been creating images which were face images, so humans perfected the art of drawing faces through the images which we capture through the painting that we have drawn through the basic tutorials of drawing faces. AI could learn so much that it has perfected the art of drawing all the other things. But the most neglected part in the human drawing was drawing of hands and feet. And that is where AI also is struggling with, because the training which it requires is not actually up to the mark from what the database we have. That is the kind of thought that we believe. Uh, Leonardo is free. You would simply be able to go to leonardo.ai, generate an account, and whitelist yourself. Right. Similarly, your bing.com/create would also be free, and you would be able to create images which are close to what graphic story that you want to work. Any doubts here so far? No,
No, sir.
none. Sure. Let's move ahead. So this was about, this is multimodal. That means I am moving from text to images. I'm moving from prompt, which is based on words, and I'm trying to generate an image. Now, there are two modes available here. There is text, there is image. From the single mode that was text to text, now we have moved from text to images. But what if we could move to other domains as well? We want to get into generative audio, we want to get in, even into generative video, and all of that is a reality. To some extent, some are very good, to some extent, some are not so good. Some systems which are very commercial, they are promising a lot. Some systems which are free of cost, they allow you to see how things work. Right? Like Audio LM from Google is something that allows you to uh, take some text, add a prompt, and then create something which is in continuation. Not only that, it can even generate continuation of piano music based on prompt.
Sachin sir, there is no audio.
I don't know whether you can hear it or not, but you will be able to actually test when I am going to post it in your chat box. Okay, this is not audible, obviously. I'm sharing this so that you will be able to test it. I forgot to possibly connect my audio sharing of sound to, oh, I can't share the sounds now, but you'll be able to test it. All right. If let us get into how to actually use it for even generating videos. There is a Google tool called Finaki, where they demonstrate from Google research that how do we generate video from open domain textual description. That means we are using text, we are converting it to a video. Fine. It can synthesize realistic videos from textual prompt sequences. There is some example that they have generated using Finaki, and the prompt says photorealistic teddy bear is swimming in the ocean in San Francisco. It goes underwater, it keeps swimming under the water with colorful fishes and so forth. Right. And it is possible to an extent that, let us see an example again for Finaki. Read the prompt first and then I play the video. It says first person view of riding a motorcycle through a busy street, first person view of riding a motorcycle through a busy road in the woods. Then backyard becomes empty, elephant walks into a backyard, then robot dances tango, just listening to some prompts. And let us play now. Read along that prompts that are actually changing. So now it goes to the woods. Breaking, running through the woods towards a house, running through the houses, between cats, backyard becomes empty, an elephant walks, a robot walks. So the likewise, that means that this is something which is not very photorealistic as of today, but this is non-commercial. This is just simply a research-based article into how generative AI works, and they have shown a lot of promise that how things can be shaped in the future. While you are working with comic books or storybooks which are based on prompts generating images, people are generating even full-length videos using artificial intelligence these days. That is the power of generative AI. Right. So Finaki, you can again get into the sites research.google.com. Right. Any questions so far? Let me ask again.
No, sir.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Sir, it is related to the text to image generator, like you told us earlier. So,
Mhm.
like, while we had used AI in our graphic novel, so we had encountered a problem that was that basically our graphic novel was on traffic safety. So we had to show the site of an accident, a scene of an accident. So in that,
Okay.
we wanted something as like he fell from the motorcycle and he got hurt. So when we wrote this prompt, the AI told us that it is against its guidelines to show anything in which anybody is, harmed, and the sight of blood. Maybe all
True.
this is
True.
against the
True. True.
guideline.
Just try typing in the prompt that you wrote. Let us try to tweak it a bit in the chat box. Just write the prompt. Let us try to generate it.
Sure, sir.
I'll generate it with you. Okay, I have seen your images generated. I have seen the entire, that is a person riding without a helmet with his mother already telling him that you should wear a
Yes,
helmet
sir.
and then he
Yes,
ignores,
sir,
right?
it is that one.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Absolutely right. I have seen that. So there are things which, okay, you wanted to prompt this. Fine. Let us take it to our binge.com/create. Okay. So I've just added something which is going to allow AI to be ethical at the same time be able to generate. It's not denying my prompt. It's simply saying that check out. Okay. There are things which you'd be able to work AI around. When your first prompt does not work, try giving it a different prompt. If I would have given the prompt to Leonardo, Leonardo has another thing that it can say not only what you want to create, it also tells you. I'll show you what. With the AI image generation tool in Leonardo, it also allows you to add a negative prompt that what you do not want to show, right? So this was what I was trying to generate, a lady wearing a sari, an Indian lady. Now what it was doing is whenever I would mention Indian, it would always add a bindi on the forehead, whether there was a small girl, whether there was a elderly lady. So I had to generate a negative prompt which would disallow it to create something or add something which would not be added. So you want to show that no bleeding should be there. So you can simply tell that there should be no blood on the road or there should be, the prompts work very clearly. But if your system is finding it against what it has been taught in the ethics guidelines, it would never be able to generate.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So this was it. But another thing that this is more like a warning that we are not supposed to use AI for things which are for your homework or for your assignment. Would you be able to tell the difference between AI and human generated content? Check out. Okay. I wrote this paragraph. I checked for grammatical errors by AI. Which one of them, A or B, is AI generated? I'll take a poll that let all of you say A or B on the chat window. So I'll be able to just read it, look at it for a minute, decide whatever you think, A or B, which looks like AI generated. Type on chat box again. Chat bot. I keep on saying chat bot. Chat box.
Sir, we are not able to see the paragraphs. The chat window is
Okay.
open on
Now,
that.
just let me know when you have typed it that A or B, all of you. Then I'll look at the chat window again. And I'll give you a hint after 2 slides that what not to do. Okay, just turn in whatever your thoughts are, A or B, type in on the chat window and let me see. B the I, B the I, B the I, A the I, Arnav, Vedai, both are AI generated. Okay. Navya says A is by AI. Okay, that's it. Okay, let us take it ahead. There are 2 more. Think about which one is AI, A or B. I hope you have read both of them. It's not a test, it's just simply an opinion poll. Now, B the I again, A the I generated. I'll go back to the screens. Here, A is the one which is AI generated, right? There is a small nuance that if you see there is some emotion coming in, there is something which is, but that is expensive and labor intensive, cannot be applied. AI, I'll tell you how to distinguish. In the second case, B is AI generated, A is human generated. This kind of vocabulary is very specific, which A is using. And the differences are subtle, but they are there. You will be able to see the tone consistency. Humans maintain a consistent tone. AI may have fluctuations. Human articles convey emotions and opinions which are challenging for AI. Human can generate repetitive, AI generate repetitive phrases, and humans bring unique perspective. So in AI, usually you will find, अच्छा एक बहुत common telltale sign आपको मिलेगा. Most of the content that you are going to see being generated by AI will use one word very specifically, that is embarking on a journey. This went to Ashish Sharma direct message. I am actually trying to write it on a meeting group chat, but I think you can see my screen. So you generate something, these people are mostly using AI for generating content for LinkedIn. And for LinkedIn, they always want to give something like a new journey, a new job, or a new title, or a promotion. And most of the content would actually start with I'm embarking on a new journey. And the moment I see the word embarking on a new journey, I catch it that this must be generated by AI. Similarly, a lot of content that you are going to generate for your essays or for your paragraphs or for your story graphics, please be aware that it lacks human touch. That touch you would have to give. It has to have originality. It has to have some emotion. So whenever you are into some creative project, let AI only be used as a tool to add value to the work that you are doing instead of actually doing all the work. So you have to put your model to test. You have to actually show both of them to your classmate or to your teammates and ask them that can you make out the difference that whether this is AI generated or whether this is human generated, and they should be able to tell that no, we can't make out the difference. If you achieve that, your work is good. If you don't achieve that, then there is a problem that you have to. So the most important thing to keep in mind is that it's not man versus machine. It's not a competition. It's a collaboration. You have to be able to use artificial intelligence as a tool, but if you start using it as a master, that whatever you want to do generated using AI, you would lose that creative touch which brought you to this platform in the very first place. That is a very basic requirement that you have to keep thinking about. I am available on sachin.gupta at methodai.com. If there are any questions, or right now the chat window is also open, please ask any question that you have, and I'll be very happy to answer them.
Sir, I had another question.
Yeah.
Sir, like in the image generative AI, so in that, suppose if I want to create two separate scenes, but I want the characters to be common in both the scenes. So is there any option in which I can give the character and it can use that character in the different scenes?
See, this is the one thing which I actually spoke yesterday, and even today I'm saying ki generative AI offers you no guarantees. The only best thing that you can do is you may try to, when you are using the prompt generation, you may have image guidance. This image guidance is the one where you may provide an image to get started. So when you upload an image to get started, the image that you have already generated and you want to create an image on the similar line but with a different scene, then this should be able to help. What I would urge you to do is explore this. Try to generate an image, the first scene in the image, and use that as a base to start the second, keeping the facial features of the character same. Now generate a scenario where we are standing in a hospital, like that.
Okay, sir, got it.
Got
Thank you.
it? So that is the way I would look forward to, that possibly it is going to be able to generate images which are similar, or use the same tool every time, because when you are going to generate mail, matlab, your prompt is the same, it might generate the similar facial features every time. But this should definitely help when you have an image guidance. Any more questions?
Yes,
Acha, are there?
to ask.
Okay. Lakshya is asking, are there any AI models to find out which texts are generated by AI? This is the same question that you were speaking about. I'll answer this first and then let's go. So there is GPT-0. It's the trusted AI detector. Here, you may have the text generated from AI, copy, paste, check origin, check. Sentences that are likely written by AI are highlighted. It is highlighting everything here. 6 out of 6 sentences are likely AI generated. Got it?
Sir, is there any website where we can check for images as well, whether the image is generated by AI or not?
See, that is the harder part, because text has a very small number of features. Images have, like, if you have an image which is 800 cross 1000 pixels, okay? So the number of features which this image has are 800 into 1000, that many total number of pixels, and that is the total number of features. So it's very easy to pick up a image or text which is AI generated, but it is very difficult to mention that this image is generated by artificial intelligence.
Okay, sir.
Rishita says, what advancements or changes do you see in AI in upcoming years? Rishi, I am actually at a loss of words to tell, because 2019, I was not working with artificial intelligence at all. 2020 with MethdAI as a learning platform, I learned the very basics on that what is use of Python, why are we having different types of AI, what is artificial general intelligence, and so forth. And then cross to today, where I work with large language models, where we are working with chatbots, with image generation, with I can't even imagine that within the OpenAI Dev Day was day before yesterday. You might see Google going out of picture very soon with the way they are advancing OpenAI and ChatGPT. So Google, which is the strongest web browser and the search engine across all the last almost 2 decades, it is possibly on the way out of business just because of a very small tool that came up. And with my GPT, that you can generate now GPTs which are suited to your own content. So I don't know where technology is going to take it with multimodal models where you can upload an X-ray and it would be able to interpret it as like a doctor would do. It is venturing into healthcare also. There is a future which is very, very exciting, but very, very unpredictable for that matter. So that is my take on it. Lakshya says if we ask AI to write in the way humans write, then can GPT-0 find out the differences between them? Okay, Lakshya, it is something like you can tell it all the way, whatever prompts that you give, but it would still be maintaining some continuity, some because it is generating the word based on a sequence. So large language models do that. And when there is a lot of similarity on the way of how content would be generated in a sequence, the moment it is captured, it is not looking at the text itself, it is looking at the way the text is written. So GPT-0 would still hold at most of the time. So do not do your homework with it. Never. All right. Any more questions if we have? I'll share my LinkedIn also in case you want to have connections on LinkedIn. Rishita has it. I'll try to add in more people if you are available on LinkedIn. Otherwise, I am available on Sachin dot at methodai.com. I'll share my profile also. Okay. Lavia says that is AI a threat to job market in the future? Yes and no. There are two answers to this. One is you are asking whether people would be out of job because of AI. Yes, there would be several people. But would AI generate more jobs? Yes, there would be more jobs also generated. And the big issue is, are you using AI or are you not? In case you are using AI, you will be actually replacing somebody who is not using AI. So if I as a teacher can generate a lot of good stories to share with my students, a lot of good content with the help of AI, I'm teaching better because of AI. I'll be replacing some teacher who is not using AI, who is still sticking to the old traditional ways of teaching, who are not making their lecture content more interesting with the use of AI. So that is the kind of scenario that we are looking at. It is going to be a threat to job market for those who are not used to AI, but for those who are used to AI, it would be an opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
let me find out back to where we were. Thank you so much for having me on this session. I will take screenshot for my use. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ashish sir, I hope that we have answered a lot of queries.
Yes, I think uh, I mean the students are also fine. I hope the students found the session very useful. And I think the purpose of this session was to like the students here, I think, are all working on a project which is helping them create graphic novels on different topics. I think monuments is one of them, and I think Sandeep Sethi sir is guiding these students. So I hope you found the session useful and it'll help you in working in uh, such creative projects, and you'll take a AI as a skill, and upskill yourselves, and maybe because it's going to help you in the long run. It's going to help you a lot, and like sir mentioned, at the end of the day it's going to make you more productive and make you more competitive in the ongoing job market. And that's how even we at Method AI hire talent, and also other industries who hire talent at a large scale. They are looking at people who are more productive, who are more efficient, and tools in AI like generative AI particularly is one such tool that's going to help a lot. So I would just say that if you're a tech enthusiast, or even if you're not, I mean, it's nice to stay updated with what's happening in the tech world. And
We enjoy working with you more anytime that you are looking forward to adding to the session. Through Sandeep sir, please let us know that we are looking for another session and specifically to some topic, and we'll be happy to help anytime.
All right. With that, we come to the end of the session. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining, and have a very happy holiday and Diwali. Um, Wishing you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.